Hi you guys, welcome back to Progressive Sisters Magic, and today we're going to be going over lesson 3, which is going to be understanding crypto wallets. Now the reason why it's important to understand crypto wallets is because that is where your crypto is going to be stored, and it has to be safe and secure from anything happening in this world, okay? And it is going to be significantly different than a traditional wallet because you have to remember that cryptocurrencies are completely digital. So they are usually saved in a digital form. Now you do have hardware where you can save those wallets at as well, and we'll go over all of those things in this video. So with all that said, let's go ahead and hop into the first portion of this lesson. Understanding crypto wallets. Before you can buy or use crypto, you need a wallet. A crypto wallet doesn't actually store coins inside it. Instead, it stores the keys, passwords, that allow you to access your money on the blockchain. There are two main types of wallets. 1. Custodial wallets. Centralized exchange wallets. A custodial wallet is when an exchange like Binance or Coinbase holds your crypto for you. You log in with a username and password, and they manage everything else. This is convenient for beginners, but it means you don't really control your coins. The exchange does. Think of this like keeping your money in a bank. The bank takes care of it, but you rely on them. If the bank shuts down, you may not get your money back. So, custodial wallets, you really don't have true ownership of your crypto. Just like your money in the bank, you don't have true ownership of your money in the bank. It's actually being circulated, and there's really no money actually in your bank account, which is why it takes a couple of business days for you to pull out large sums of money from your bank account. So you can think of crypto in the same fashion. So yes, while you do technically own those crypto coins, if anything happens on that exchange, if they get hacked or just like anything happens on that exchange, you most likely will not get that cryptocurrency back. But like I said, this is convenient for beginners, and the reason why is because when you're beginning into crypto, you really don't know that much. So you're not knowing about the extra layers of security that is involved in crypto, like your seed phrases and your keys and your passwords and things like that. And you don't want to lose any of that information or just like share that information with someone on accident, and now you don't have any of your cryptocurrencies because someone used that information, got into your account, and it's gone. Okay, so the thing about these type of wallets, these custodial wallets, the exchange handles all of that. Your keys, your passwords, just anything, your seed phrase, everything. Your exchange handles that for you. Now it is dangerous because again, your exchange handles that for you. So in a sense, it's kind of like a centralization type of crypto, okay? When you have decentralized crypto, that means you are fully in charge of your crypto coins and nobody can do anything with your crypto coins as long as you have your seed phrase, which we're going to go over later in this video. But when you have these custodial wallets, you really don't have complete control or autonomy over your cryptocurrencies. Now let's get into the second type of wallet, which is going to be the complete opposite of custodial wallets, which is going to be non-custodial wallets. 2. Non-custodial wallets. You control the keys. A non-custodial wallet gives you full ownership. Examples like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Phantom, or hardware wallets like Ledger. When you create one, you get a seed phrase, 12 to 24 random words that acts like a master key to your funds. This is like keeping your cash in a personal safe at home. You don't rely on anyone else, but you're fully responsible for protecting it. So these type of wallets are your safest bet when it comes to protecting your cryptocurrency. But then again, you are in full control of this. So if anything goes wrong, if you lose it, if you cannot like recover it or anything, nobody can help you recover those cryptocurrency funds, and it's just going to be gone. You can't run to an exchange and be like, oh, please help me get my information back. I can't get into my account. No, they cannot help you with that. So that is the con of these non-custodial wallets, okay? You are completely responsible for anything going wrong. With the custodial wallets, you do have an extra layer of protection because you are covered by the exchange, okay? Whatever crypto exchange that you are operating on. So they're going to be taking care of anything that goes wrong with your account, okay? And custodial wallets are a lot easier to get into and recover your funds if you lose your information, because all you have to do is contact that company or that exchange, okay? Now, when it comes to your non-custodial wallets, again, there's nobody really that you can contact and be able to get your information. Your cryptocurrency is just gone. But then again, your cryptocurrency isn't gone if you lose this information. It's still on blockchain. You just will not have any access to it. And a lot of custodial wallets are known as hot wallets. And then when you have your non-custodial wallets, those are also known as cold wallets. Now, a lot of companies make both hot wallets and cold wallets. It's just up to your preference on which one that you want. And one good thing to know about this before you purchase a wallet is that not all wallets do not accept all coins, okay? Some wallets are specialized for some coins. Some wallets don't even accept meme coins. So when you're searching for a wallet, you may have to buy multiple wallets because unfortunately they do not all just support all the tokens, okay? Some only support the major ones, some only support like 5 or 6. So you really have to like go and see, because me personally, I had to buy 2 separate wallets to be able to support all of my coins. And it's not even all of my coins. Some of my coins I did have to keep on the exchange because I couldn't necessarily find a wallet that was worth me paying that would be able to have those coins on them, because these wallets are going to be a little bit pricey, but that is because it is protecting your cryptocurrency. So I really feel like if you spend the money now, you'll be happier in the long run that you won't lose any money from someone hacking into your account. So remember when I said earlier that crypto wallets are extremely different from the traditional wallet because they don't actually hold your cryptocurrencies inside of the wallet, okay? Like you have a cash or debit cards inside of your wallet you can just pull out and spend. It's not necessarily like that with these crypto wallets. But what the wallet does hold is going to be your private key. Now this private key should be only for you. Nobody should ever know your private key information, okay? Look at this as like the code to a safe. Nobody should ever know the code to your safe, only you, okay? That is how you will always have your funds protected. Now, if someone gets this access to this private key, they can steal all of your funds. And again, because this is a decentralized type of cryptocurrency, like crypto in general is decentralized, there is no one for you to run to try to get those funds back, okay? So they have all these rules and regulations on cryptocurrency that they're trying to place right now through these acts. But my thing is, where are the rules and regulations for if you get robbed? If someone hacks into your account, takes all your crypto coins, and you can prove that someone did that you weren't responsible for that, where is the compensation? Please, why do we just have to get robbed, y'all? Like, and that is the crazy thing about this crypto game. And that's why banks really want to step in and regulate it, because when you get robbed, if someone logs into your bank account and takes your money or spends money on your card because they got your card information, you can go to your bank and file a claim and your bank will take care of that, okay? All you gotta do is file a claim, they'll investigate it, everything. When it comes to this cryptocurrency, nobody's doing any investigating or anything. So there's pros and cons that come with a decentralized type of cryptocurrency or decentralized currency in general, because centralized, you got the big guys who are fighting for you if anything goes wrong. Decentralized, you're literally fighting for yourself. But hold on, you guys, I'm not talking bad about crypto, because at the same time, while no one is necessarily protecting you, you're protecting yourself. You still have full ownership of your coins if it is on a non-custodial wallet, okay? You have full ownership of these coins and nobody can do anything to take that away from you, okay? Nobody can do it. Now, with your bank account, that's totally different. You're not in charge of your money. Like, whatever happens with that bank, like, your problems are their problems, but their problems are also your problems. Now, with all that said, let's go into the second portion of this lesson. How wallets work. A wallet doesn't hold crypto coins inside it. The coins always live on the blockchain. What the wallet stores is your private key, a secret code that proves you are the owner of those coins. The private key allows you to send or spend your crypto. If you lose it, you lose access to your money forever. If someone else gets it, they can steal all your funds instantly. Example, imagine your crypto wallet is like an online banking app. The app doesn't store your money. It just shows you your balance and lets you send or receive payments. The real money is at the bank, the blockchain, and your login, the private key, is what gives you access. A private key is a secret code, a very long random number that allows you to access and control your cryptocurrency on the blockchain. Think of it like the PIN number or password to your online bank account. If you know the password, you can send money. If someone else gets it, they can also send money without your permission. A private key is usually represented as a long string of numbers and letters, 64 characters in a hexadecimal. So that basically went over everything that I just previously explained, but I do want to add one more important fact, and that's going to be no matter if you're a beginner or an expert, you really should get in the habit of transferring your cryptocurrencies offline, okay? And when I say offline, that means that you cannot get access to it via internet, so that makes it basically impossible for it to be hacked into or for it to be stolen unless someone gets your private key and your seed phrase information, okay? So when you have a cold wallet, that's taking it offline. When you have a hot wallet, that's going to be where you can access it through the internet, and it is a safety hazard. Now, it is easier to recover your funds and be able to get into your accounts, but that is definitely a hazard. And another thing that I want to add is if you're trying to day trade cryptocurrencies, you're not going to necessarily keep your cryptocurrencies that you're day trading on a cold wallet. You're going to keep it in a hot wallet or on an exchange. And that's because it's easier to transfer, and you don't have to wait a long periods of time to be able to verify your information and get those cryptocurrencies. And just one more thing about these cold wallets, you guys, because I personally love cold wallets. I think everybody who owns cryptocurrency should get a cold wallet, okay? Just saying. But with these cold wallets, because it's not online and it's offline, anything that happens in this world, any geopolitical events or hacks that hack the internet, which is totally possible, you will be safe. Your cryptocurrency will be safe. So for example, it's this movie called Leave the World Behind, and it was made by the Obamas. Now, it is so believable, okay? So believable. And it's basically when China hacked into our internet, into every single thing having to deal with like electricity or just power or anything, and they hacked it. So essentially they just wiped it, okay? Now, that is totally possible in today's age, especially with all this AI that we have going on. I'm not talking about conspiracies or anything. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys keep your cryptocurrency safe no matter what happens in this world. Because I know you would hate to wake up one morning and your power's out, no internet, and then you look at your cryptocurrency exchange and there's nothing on there because it's been wiped out. That is horrible. And actually, there have been multiple occasions of blackouts around the world, actually, where you cannot even access the internet. You can't access your cryptocurrencies. You can't access anything, okay? So that is actually proven that it already has happened. So protect yourself. It hasn't happened in America yet, but protect yourself by getting a cold wallet, okay? All right, now let's move on, you guys. So I have been mentioning private keys and seed phrases and things like that, but I haven't actually went into deep detail on what those things actually are, and that's what we're going to go over right now. How is a private key created? When you create a new crypto wallet, say on MetaMask or Trust Wallet, the wallet software generates a private key randomly. The randomness is generated by cryptographic algorithms. It's so large that the chance of two people getting the same private key is almost impossible. From this private key, a public key is mathematically derived. You don't need to calculate this yourself. The wallet does it. The public key is like your bank account number. You can share it with others to receive money. From the public key, your wallet address is generated. Okay, guys, so I'm going to explain that a little bit further. So your software is going to create your private key. Now that private key is going to create a corresponding public key. Private keys and public keys are always going to be created in pairs. Now the way that works is it's going to use an algorithm from your private key known as elliptic curve cryptography, or ECC. So what happens in this algorithm is it's a one-way function. And the reason why is because your public key is shareable. This can be shared. You don't want anybody getting your public key and being able to decipher what your private key is. Your private key is what shows that you are the owner of your cryptocurrency. So if someone gains access to that, they are technically now the owner of your cryptocurrencies. Now from that public key that is made from your private key is going to form your wallet address. Now your wallet address is essentially your public key, but it's easier to manage and it's shorter and you can share it more easily with people. So when you have your wallet address, it can literally be a QR code. Someone can scan it and send you funds just like that. It's easily to be shared. No one can have any information on your account just from having your wallet address. This can be shared to anybody, okay? But your private key should be shared to nobody. So the best way for me to remember this personally, which I thought was a great example to include in this video, is that the private key can be seen as grandpa, okay? Now the public key can be seen as the son of grandpa, and then the wallet address is going to be the grandson of grandpa, but the son of the public key. So the private key, it has associations with every part of this process. So you're going to need the private key to be able to make the public key, and you're still going to need the private key to be able to make the wallet address, because you need the private key to make the public key, which is needed for the wallet address. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So like literally, your public key is just a shortened version of your wallet address. So basically what I'm trying to say is without your private key, you cannot have a public key or a wallet address, okay? Short and simple. Now, if you didn't really get the grandpa analogy that I was saying, we do have another analogy that is actually part of the lesson itself, and I'll go over that now. So, the private key is an ATM card plus a PIN combined. You keep that secret. The public key is your bank account number, and that's shareable. The wallet address is a shortened account version, which is easy to use. Now, let's go into why it's so secure when you have these private keys, okay? The security of private keys comes from cryptographic algorithms like the ECDSA, Elliptic Curve Digital Signature Algorithm. A private key is a random 256-bit number. Imagine a number between 1 and gajillion. The number space is so huge that even if every computer on Earth guessed non-stop, it would take billions of years to find your private key. Example, imagine a safe with a 77-digit combination code. If you have the code, private key, you can open it, but for someone else, guessing it is practically impossible. So again, remember, your software is going to automatically compute this random string of numbers for you, which is going to be your private key, but it is going to be shortened in a hexadecimal format that is going to be more readable for you to read. But in the system, in the background, that really long number still exists. It doesn't just go away, but it just makes it easier and condenses it for the human brain to be able to decipher. And also mentioned on here is going to be your digital signatures. Now your digital signature is going to be used to be able to have any transactions where you're going to be sending any crypto from your wallet, okay? You're going to have to sign it with your private key, okay? And that is going to be serving as your digital signature. Now your digital signature is going to be different for each transaction. It's never going to be the same. So just because someone looks and sees your digital signature for one transaction, it doesn't mean that they can use that for future transactions to be able to hack into your funds. So digital signatures are extremely important when it comes to these crypto wallets, and that's essentially because without this digital signature you can't make any transactions, because that has to prove that you are the owner of this cryptocurrency. And the only way to prove that you are the owner of cryptocurrency is going to be your private key. But you don't want to share your private key to the network for these nodes and these validators to confirm your transaction, which is going to be on blockchain where everybody can see. You do not want that, okay? So that's why they form digital signatures that are derived from your private key. So instead of showing your private key to the world and to the blockchain, you show your digital signature, okay? But you cannot decipher what your private key is from your digital signature. None of those nodes on the network can do that. So that still protects you in the long run. Now let's go into seed phrases, which in my opinion is going to be the most important aspect for your crypto wallets or just for your cryptocurrency in general. Private key versus seed phrase. The private key is a direct key to your funds. The seed phrase, which is 12 to 24 words, is a human readable version that can generate multiple private keys. The seed phrase is basically a master key. From it, your wallet can recreate all your private keys if you lose them. Think of the seed phrase as a blueprint to your house. From that blueprint, you can rebuild the exact same keys, doors, anytime. Okay, so you can have multiple private keys. You can have a private key for each type of cryptocurrency that you own, okay? Now remember, private keys and public keys are made in pairs, okay? So there are going to be a lot that are going to be generated. But those private keys are generated from the great grandpa, which is going to be your seed phrase, okay? Your seed phrase can recover anything that you lose, okay? If you have that seed phrase, you're going to be able to recover any funds that you lose if you lose your wallet, okay? So a lot of people have the misunderstanding that if you lose your cold wallet, you just lose all of your funds. No, it's if you lose access to that seed phrase, that's when you lose all your funds. Because when you have that seed phrase, you can go to a different wallet or even a different software, put in that seed phrase, and all of your cryptocurrency funds will pop up on that wallet, because that is how important your seed phrase is. That's why a lot of the times people also call it your recovery phrase, because you can recover anything with that seed phrase. Now, this seed phrase is a random selection of 12 to 24 words. Now, those 12 to 24 words are actually chosen from a already determined list of words. So that predefined list consists of 2,048 words, okay, to choose from to create a random selection of words for your seed phrase. But the seed phrase isn't necessarily totally random because you have the words that are chosen, but the order of the words are just important as the words that are chosen, okay? So you can find out the 24 words or the 21 words, however many words are in it, but you also have to have the correct order of the words. So that makes it basically impossible to just blindly get somebody's seed phrase, because you would have to get which words from that 2048 predefined list of words and then find out how many words are actually included on that specific seed phrase for that person, because it is 12 to 24 words that can be chosen. Then on top of that, you have to find out the correct order of those words. So finding out your seed phrase is, man, that's gonna be one hard thing to do. Now, the reason why the words in the order of these words are so important is because those words on the back end for your computer software or your wallet software, it computes it to numbers. So each one of those words represents a number, okay? And that is computed on the software. And the reason why your seed phrase is words instead of numbers is because words are easier for the brain to remember. Scientific studies have proven that words are easier to remember than a string of numbers, okay? So that's why they did that. So back in the earlier days, a crypto wallet would only generate one private key. So you have that one private key, which is going to create a pair, which is going to be one public key created with that. And then you would have one wallet address. Now that makes things really difficult. And then that's also a security risk as well. So they made these HD wallets to where you have your seed phrase, which creates a master key to where you can create an almost unlimited amount of private keys and public keys that will correspond with that, and wallet addresses that will correspond with those public keys. So now when you open your wallet and you see your funds, you can have so many different addresses in there instead of just one, which would be really bad if you ever got hacked into. So again, as long as you have that master key, you're good, okay? That seed phrase, you are good. You can take that seed phrase or that master key and be able to put it in another compatible wallet software and recover all of your funds, okay? So that is the most important aspect of securing your cryptocurrencies. Now let's go into the last portion of this lesson, which is going to be securing your crypto wallet. Security is the most important part of using crypto. Here are the basics every beginner must follow. Seed phrase / recovery phase. When you create a wallet, you'll be given a phrase of 12 to 24 words. Write this down on paper and store it safely. Never save it on your phone or computer because hackers can access it. Whoever has this phrase owns your crypto. Private keys. This is the long alphanumeric code that directly controls your wallet. Never share with anyone. Treat it like your ATM pin, but even more important because there's no reset option if you lose it. Two-factor authentication. When using exchanges, always enable 2FA. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring a one-time code from your phone every time you log in or make a transaction. Cold wallets are hardware wallets. For larger amounts, store your coins in a hardware wallet like Trezor or Ledger. These keep your private keys offline, making them almost impossible for hackers to reach. It's like keeping your gold in a bank vault instead of in your pocket. So that summarizes basically everything that I talked about in this video. And these are really important aspects and steps that you have to take as a beginner in crypto, or even an expert in crypto if you haven't taken it already, to be able to secure your crypto, okay, you guys? You don't want to be making all these investments just for them to go out the window because you didn't properly secure your cryptocurrencies. So your seed phrase is your most important aspect for this cryptocurrency and your securing of it. Now, I know I said that multiple times in this video, but that's because it's that important, okay? You should never share it, and on top of that, you should never lose it. Write it down, put it in multiple places. Don't just write it down in one place, okay? Because if you lose it, or if you misplace it, or you can't even remember where you put it, you're just out of luck, you guys, okay? And never share it with anyone. Never take any pictures of it. Don't have it in your phone. Don't have it in your email. Don't save it to your passwords. Don't do any of that, okay? I know we live in a digital age, but for this seed phrase, you need to go all the way old school and pick up the pen and paper, okay? And don't expect yourself to remember it, okay? Even if you have great memory, don't do that to yourself. because if you get one word wrong or the order of the word wrong, you're not going to be able to get into your crypto. Add an extra layer of protection. Put the authentication codes on there. So if anybody tries to get into your account, you're going to know, okay? It's going to go straight to your phone. You're going to know. So nobody can just get into your account even if they do get your information, okay? You're going to need to have that push notification on your phone to be able to complete the transaction. And last but not least, with these cold wallets, go ahead and take it offline so that it's practically impossible for anybody to take away your cryptocurrency, and you're protected from any geopolitical events that may happen in this world, okay? It's not conspiracy. These things happen all around the world. It hasn't happened in America, but you guys, the world be moving. We're in a digital age in AI and all this, so just protect yourself at all costs. Because with a lot of these governments turning over to cryptocurrencies and making their own CBDCs, and like really cryptocurrencies are really showing so much momentum and becoming a part of the digital age, you don't want any hiccups. You don't want to be left behind for any reasons, because you got hacked, because there was a blackout, because you lost your information to get into your account. You don't want any of that. Just imagine the people who bought Bitcoin like 10, 15 years ago, if they lost their recovery seed phrase and they weren't able to get into their account now. That Bitcoin is still on the exchange. They just have no access to it. So imagine someone who had 5 Bitcoin 15 years ago, lost their recovery phase. Those 5 Bitcoins are now going to be worth like a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? A lot of money. And fun fact, they say that's actually what happened to Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know if that's fully true, but he does have a wallet address with a whole bunch of Bitcoin on it that has not been touched. Now, a lot of people are saying that that's because he lost his recovery phase and he can no longer get into that account because something happened with his computer and he had it saved on his computer. I don't know how true that is, but it is true that his wallet address shows that he has a lot of Bitcoin just sitting there and has been dormant for years. Okay guys, so if all that made sense, let's go ahead and jump into the second portion of this lesson, of lesson 3. But if anything didn't make sense, I really do recommend that you go back and you go over that information, take some notes, and really let it sink in before you move forward to the next part of the lesson. When it comes to learning about crypto, because this is an investment at the end of the day where you're going to be putting money into this, it's best to understand it fully before trying to speed through the process and just finish the lesson. So with all that said, if you're ready, let's go ahead and jump into the second part.